Hey guys, it's Rachel, and I know I'm not normally in front of the camera, but today I really wanted to share a fun experience that I had while I was in Los Angeles. So essentially, I got to meet one of my greatest idols, Christina Tosi. I make her recipes on my channel all the time, and for those of you guys who don't know, she is a baker and the founder of Momofuku Milk Bar, which is this awesome dessert shop. They serve cereal-based milk desserts, and really inventive, creative cookies that remind you of your childhood a lot. So essentially I got to meet her. She was doing a meet and greet and a book signing for her book all about cake, which I have here. It is her latest cookbook that she's just come out with, and I even got her to sign it, so I will show you what it says. Okay, so bam, here it is. It says, "Rachel, remember to keep it all about cake, Tosi." And that was a really fun experience getting to meet her. She's really awesome and really sweet and kind. Essentially what happened was that she posted on her Instagram account saying that she was going to have a book signing for her latest recipe book. And if you've ever been to Melrose, you will know that that street is just littered with really artsy walls and murals that people like to take basic pictures in front of. No, I have never done those myself. There's the Paul Smith pink wall that is very iconic and always on Instagram. And there's also this rotating mural right next to Carrera Cafe, which is across the street. And no, once again, I have never taken a basic photo in front of either of those walls. But now Milk Bar has its very own cake wall, and it's basically Christina Tosi's birthday cake, expanded onto a huge wall, and that is where she had her meet and greet. I got to take a couple pictures with her and also have a little discussion with her. So that was super, super awesome. And in order to sort of commemorate this experience, I thought I would make one of her recipes. So today I will be showing you guys how to make her Pistachio Bundt cake from her All About Cake book. And I will show you guys. This recipe just stood out to me immediately when I flipped through this cookbook because it just looked so darn delicious, and I was like, I need to make this and I need this right now. Let me find it. So here is the Pistachio Bundt cake, and honestly it is so beautiful. It's basically a pistachio cake topped with a pistachio glaze and then finished off with some toasted pistachios. So I will be showing you guys how to make that, and stay tuned till the end because I will be reviewing the recipe and also how it tastes. Alrighty, let's get started on this delicious pistachio bundt cake from Christina Tosi's All About Cake cookbook. So as a forewarning, you are going to need 2 3/4 cup of pistachios, which is a lot, so make sure you prepare for that. We're going to start off the recipe by microwaving our pistachios for about 30 seconds to sort of soften them up before we put them in the blender. Christina Tosi is also highly specific in her recipes, so we are going to need 1/3 cup and 1 tablespoon of oil. Alright, we are going to blend those ingredients together until a sort of pistachio paste forms. It can be kind of grainy and lumpy, it doesn't have to be perfect, it'll add some texture to the cake later. So put that in a bowl, and then we're going to add 2/3 cup of oil with 1/3 cup and 1 teaspoon of heavy cream, and 3 tablespoons and 1 teaspoon of light corn syrup. I typically don't have corn syrup at my house, but I actually found it at Trader Joe's, so know that you can find it there. So mix those ingredients together, and then we are going to go ahead and add in 11 egg whites. I know it's so much, but that's what the recipe calls for, and I love the goddess Christina Tosi, so we will follow her to the ends of the earth. In a separate bowl, we are going to combine our dry ingredients, so this includes 2 cups and 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar. Highly specific once again, I know. And next up, we are going to add 1.5 cups and 3 tablespoons of regular flour. Now moving on, we are going to add 2 1/4 cups of almond flour to this mixture. Also throw in 1 tablespoon of baking powder and 2 1/4 teaspoons of salt, which honestly you can just kind of eyeball because the 1/4 teaspoon is just kind of extra, to be honest. Alright, now we are going to need some instant pistachio pudding mix that you can probably buy at Safeway. Just go ahead and dump that whole package into your dry ingredients. Whisk all of that together and then go ahead and set the bowl aside. Bring back your wet ingredients and add in your dry ingredients and then kind of just stir it and mix it all together. You will have reached the desired consistency. Once your cake batter is very thick and viscous, go ahead and just pour that into your bundt cake that's been greased beforehand. Bake the cake off at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for approximately 60 to 70 minutes, and in the meantime, we can get started on the pistachio glaze. So to save yourself from washing the blender again, just go ahead and reuse it by adding in 3/4 cup of zapped pistachios in the microwave, as well as a little bit of oil, and just blend that together. This time we want a smoother paste compared to the grainy, coarse texture we had last time. Pour that into a bowl, and then we will add in 1 1/3 cups of powdered sugar, 1 tablespoon of oil, and 3 tablespoons of whole milk. Whisk all of those ingredients together and then your glaze should start coming together pretty quickly. What I noticed was that my glaze was really thick, so I added in an additional tablespoon of milk to just kind of give it that silky consistency that is really easy to just drizzle on top of the bundt cake. Essentially, you can let the pistachio glaze sort of drip down the cake naturally. Oh, and it's worth noting that I did have to level the bundt cake before I put it on the cooling rack, so make sure you do that, otherwise your cake might be kind of rocky and unstable. And there you have it, Christina Tosi's glorious pistachio bundt cake. Alright, so I just finished up making Christina Tosi's pistachio bundt cake, and to say the least, it is a lot of work. You need a lot of pistachios, you need pistachio pudding mix, you need corn syrup, you need a variety of ingredients that you typically don't have at your house. And what I find is that Christina Tosi's recipes are often a lot of work, but they really do pay off, and I find that they're generally completely worth it. So here we go. I have a slice, the very first slice of the cake. And basically it's just a selection of the bundt cake. All right. So this cake is very reminiscent for me of a classic Christina Tosi cake. It's got that salty kind of flavor that brings you back to a time when you were a kid and you're just like eating cereal, or if you're eating corn cookies, things like that. It's definitely got that flavor within this piece of cake. I want to say that the cake itself, by itself, is really awesome. The glaze does add a little bit of more of a sugar kick to it, makes it a little bit sweeter, but I think the glaze doesn't have enough pistachio flavor. So I would say if you're going to make this cake, honestly just focus on the cake itself. You don't even really need a glaze. I think the cake can stand alone and it'll be great and it'll be excellent. In terms of color and presentation, it looks beautiful. It's incredibly aesthetic. It's definitely going to be a showstopper if you bring it to any party. The cake itself, it's got a combination of the artificial kind of pistachio flavor with the pudding mix, but then also an authentic pistachio, because you actually grind up your own pistachios for this cake. So I think the cake itself is really solid, would highly recommend it. Maybe work on the glaze or try and find a different glaze that has more of a pistachio flavor. Alright, that's it for this week's video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe. I will see you next week with an all new video. Bye!